Sick and tired of your love-hate relationship with wine?
Welcome to the Feel It Alcohol-Free podcast. Hi, I'm Coach Ruby Williams.
And I'm Coach Susan Larkin.
We're two former wine lovers turned alcohol freedom coaches, exposing the lies about alcohol.
And giving you, our listeners, the tools to break free so you can feel lit.
And when you're lit, you'll feel healthier, freer, and more in control of your life.
So relax, kick back, and get ready to feel lit alcohol-free. Grab our fun bingo card with 21 Feel Lit activities shared on the podcast.
This is a fun way to get motivated to try some new practices in your daily life.
Hey, welcome back to the Feel It Alcohol-Free podcast. We are so excited to be with you today. And we have a special guest today, Deb Podlager, a.k.a. Podlager.
Hi, Deb.
Hi. I practiced that.
You got it. You got it. Like a beer, a non-alcoholic beer.
Non-alcoholic beer, right. AKA Mocktail Mom. So we're super excited to have Deb here today to talk about all things mocktails and tell a little bit about her story and how she got to become Mocktail Mom. And she's been super successful on Instagram. She has a book and she's everywhere. I've seen her many, many times and I'm super excited that she's here.
Yay. Thank you for having me. Thank you both.
You're
really,
welcome.
I'm so honored to be on your podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, so Deb is widely known as Mocktail Mom, and she embarked on a transformative journey when she chose to part ways with her beloved Chardonnay. And this decision led her to discover a variety of delicious alcohol-free beverages. Deb resides near Louisville, Kentucky, and is married and is the proud mother of two daughters, Hannah and Lily. And throughout her 40s, Deb faced a series of significant challenges. And during those tumultuous years, wine became a comforting companion. However, she realized that while alcohol was numbing her pain, it was also diminishing the joy in her life. And as she approached her 50th birthday, Deb decided it was time for a change and stopped drinking on December 31st, 2020. Amazing. Ooh. And initially aiming to moderate her intake, as we all do, she discovered that she felt remarkably better without alcohol and embraced sobriety. And I know that's very similar to Ruby's story.
Really?
Like, oh, this feels good. Yeah. That's good. Awesome. And then 10 days into her alcohol-free journey, Deb launched her Instagram account to inspire others to seek alternatives to alcohol. So breaking up with booze has proven to be one of the best decisions ever. Yeah. And Deb's recipe book, which I have right here, is called The Happiest Hour, Delicious Mocktails for a Fabulous Mom's Night In. And it's out now. I bought mine on Amazon and it's being enjoyed by thousands looking for easy recipes to make at home. And I would like to emphasize the easy. So I love that.
That's key, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Like I said, I've purchased this twice. Because I gave it away.
We won't make you give this one away. You get to keep this one, Susan. You can keep it. You can make the drinks. Yes. Easy drinks. I just feel like it doesn't need to be overwhelming. There's good things to drink. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't have to become a mixologist. You don't have to go to bartending school. Just dust off that shaker cup or go get your protein shaker cup and we can make some easy drinks.
Yeah.
So fun.
Great. So fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your story. Like, what were some of those challenges that you faced in your 40s that ramped up your drinking? We like to call these accelerator events where, you kind of feel like you're drinking socially or whatever. And then all of a sudden something changes and your drinking ramps up.
Yep. It's so interesting. Okay, so alcohol played a very small role in my life, like not even a role. I mean, it wasn't even like a supporting role, in my life growing up. I wasn't a drinker. I didn't grow up in a family where alcohol was played a big role at all. Even in college, wasn't a drinker. And beginning of my first marriage, wasn't a drinker. We even lived in California. We'd go to Napa. We would go to the wineries, do wine tasting. I didn't get drunk. I mean, I would drink a little bit. We'd bring home bunches of wine, because that was like the thing you did. You brought home wine and it would collect dust. I mean, like it would, which now I can't even imagine, after like my experience in my 40s, it would just be in these little wine shelves or whatever, and it would collect dust and just didn't have a big part of my life. I didn't use wine. I didn't need wine to cope with anything going on. And then, well, I was obviously having a difficult marriage. I mentioned it was my first marriage. But then my older daughter, who's now very healthy, she's in remission and is the picture of health. But when she was 7, she got really, really sick. And we spent about 160 nights, not consecutively, but on and off, or about a year and a half, on a pediatric oncology unit. And I wasn't drinking at the time. I mean, a little, like a little bit or whatever, but it didn't have a big role in my life. It wasn't helping me get through her being sick. But once she was better and in remission, and my marriage fell apart right after that, kind of those two things, then my daughters would go to their dads every other weekend. And when they would go to their dads, and we had just moved to Louisville, Kentucky at the time, we'd moved from California to here and got separated about 4 months later. And so they would go to their dads every other weekend. And I think it was the trauma of like her being better. I mean, that sounds terrible to say, but like, it was like, what just happened to my life? Like the last 2 years, like it's just been one hospital admission after another doctor's appointment. It was just really, really scary. She was very, very, very sick. I did not think she was going to be coming home. So
That
to see her
sounds
now
so
married
hard. Yeah.
and healthy is just,
amazing.
she's a walking miracle, an absolute walking miracle. And it's a testament to God's healing hand on her life. But, all that to say, after she was better, and now I'm going through a divorce, my girls would go away for the weekend, and it was like, and I was in a new city, and I just started drinking. I mean, it just slowly crept up. It wasn't like I was like, let's go to Total Wine and get hammered this weekend. It wasn't like a plan. It just was a slow creep.
Okay.
It was like I bought a bottle of Chardonnay, and wow, that helped Friday night feel better, or I'll have a glass. And then it was like, I'd have 2 glasses. The next, I finished the bottle. Now I'm like, okay, now I'm finishing more than 1 bottle, right? I mean, and it was slow. Again, it wasn't like, okay, night 1, like they're at their dad's and it's like, all right, I'm going to drink. It just slowly happened. Okay. And again, it was numbing the pain of a very, very horrible divorce. No divorce is easy, but it was awful. And it was numbing the pain of that, but it was definitely numbing the joy of my life. And I have a lot of joy. I mean, I'm a person that's always, the glass is always half full and feel happiness. And I always see like the brighter side of things. And it was helping me get through really difficult times. So that happened. And then I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I'm trying to think how many years later. Kind of around the same time my parents were diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's. So was awful, awful, awful. So they lived in Philadelphia at the time, and I lived in Kentucky. So I would go back and see them and stuff. But my mom passed away, I think it was 5 weeks. Was it 5 weeks? 5 weeks after my double mastectomy.
Oh my God.
And so like a lot of people, like they get diagnosed with breast cancer and they're like, I'm going to stop drinking. For me, it was the exact opposite. I'd have chemo. I'd have like one horrible, horrible week, felt terrible. Then I'd have another week, like kind of recovering. And then like that 3rd week before you go back for the next treatment, I was like, now I can drink again. I feel better. I was using wine to help me even get through chemo and my breast cancer treatments and get through my parents, the loss of my parents. My mom passed away. And then 11 months later, my dad passed away. I was very close to my parents. I mean, like I have the absolute best parents, like amazing, amazing parents. So to be so close to them and to lose them was one. And I know many women our age, we're going through, whether it's, our aging parents or we've lost our parents. And, even though you're in your late 40s or in your 50s, like to lose your parents, so unanchoring. There's something about it that's so, I don't know. I've never felt that way. So now, fast forward.
Sorry for your loss, though. By the way, I just want to
thank
say
you.
that.
Yeah, they were wonderful. They're wonderful. I'm so thankful. I'll get to see them again. Like I'm so thankful. I can grieve with hope. I'm so grateful for that. So then 2020 happened. So 2020 comes, and it's like my girls now are home. They're young. They're whatever ages. They're in high school and elementary school, and it was like, okay, well, as long as I don't care if we have toilet paper, everybody's out buying toilet paper. They're buying all their essentials. I'm like, I just need to make sure we have wine. Like in my head, I was like, I have to make sure we have wine in this house because that's all I need to get through, whatever we're about to get through. So my wine drinking really ticked up a little bit during 2020. I think like many people, wine sales definitely kicked up, and I was part of that. And then coming towards the end of 2020, I was going to turn 50 in 2021. And something about, like, okay, this is a big birthday. That's a different number, looking forward to 50 coming up. I was like, I don't want my 50s. I don't want to be zoned out in my 50s. I don't want to numb out in my 50s like I have in my 40s. I mean, understandably, some hard things were happening. So I was looking for something to cope, to help me to ease it all. But so I just kind of started almost window shopping sobriety. I did not feel like I have a quote unquote problem. I just wanted to be able to moderate. Like I just wanted to take my foot off the gas a little bit from the wine. I just wanted to be able to go back to how I used to be. Like wine could collect dust in the house, take it or leave it, be out and have a glass of wine, not even finish what's in the wine bottle or, in the wine glass, right? Yeah. Remember those days?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? A long time ago, but I do.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, then you get into, and it's like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I would never leave anything left in the glass, let alone like the person across me. If they're not finishing theirs, like, oh, I'm like thinking like, I'll finish it for you,
Exactly.
So I just thought I don't want my 50s to look the same way that my 40s have looked. And that's when I kind of started following people on Instagram, listening to different sober podcasts. I didn't associate, I was really turned off by the word sober. I was like, oh, I don't want to be sober. I just don't want to drink as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I took a little break, and taking that little break really helped me just to start feel better. And it helped me set new goals. Like, okay, maybe I could go a little bit longer. Like, okay, I did my first dry January in 2021. Maybe I can go a little bit longer. And I just kind of kept going a little bit further. Again, no desire to like become alcohol-free completely or an alcohol-free lifestyle. I just wanted to feel better. I just didn't want to wake up with a hangover on a Tuesday. And so that's how Mocktail Mom, I guess, kind of got started. I had a lot of time on my hands when I stopped drinking.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I love your story. It's me too.
Yeah.
Like I just hear, both me and Ruby and most of the clients that we work with, like it's just so it's a familiar story, even though everyone's story is unique to them.
Yep.
And what we talk about is what's the common denominator? Alcohol.
Yeah.
So it's not a person problem. It's a substance problem because the common denominator is alcohol, and it behaves the same way in everyone's lives. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love that you went based on how you felt, and you just felt good, and you just wanted to keep feeling good.
Yeah. And I felt like, why? I mean, honestly, first I was very afraid to not drink because I thought, what will I drink? Like, what am I going to drink? Shirley Temples for the rest of my life? Like, that sounds terrible. And I thought, I'll have no fun. Like, how am I going to relax? How am I going to chillax? I forgot that, like, I used to actually live my life and relax in the evening without a glass of wine. Like, I was so far away from that, a decade away from that lifestyle. I forgot what that was like. And it's like, I actually used to have fun without alcohol. It didn't have a role in my life. I'd go to Chuck E. Cheese with my kids when they were little, and I had a great time, I don't need it.
Yeah.
So, but the further I got into my sober journey, I realized like, wow, I can have fun, and there are good things to drink. And that's what I really started wanting to share with people, was like, there are good things to drink. A surprise to all of us,
Yeah. That tastes good too.
Yeah, that
because
tastes good.
actually when you get further and further away from alcohol, it just doesn't really taste that good.
It's true. Yep.
All the times that
very
I
true.
moderated, I did like 8 months, and then I went back to drinking. I remember drinking that first, and it was actually Chardonnay. That first couple of sips of wine, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, if I keep drinking, maybe it'll taste better.
Isn't that crazy? It's like cray. Okay. It's like keep drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, because it numbs your taste buds. It numbs your whole body.
True.
Yeah.
Well, and it's toxic. So that's why it tastes bad. And that's why we put lots of sugary things into, to make them taste better. Because as animals, in the world, that's when things are toxic, they don't taste good, because that then animals that have some sense in them don't eat them. Or
they stop. They walk away. Instead, we're like, what can I add to this? What can I add to this to make it taste not so toxic?
So I can keep drinking it. Oh, it's so crazy. So crazy. And what strikes me too is that, and I've heard this from so many women as well, is drinking while you're going through chemo, drinking while you have breast cancer.
I heard that too.
And not knowing maybe, or just
Not caring.
not caring that alcohol is a big
Yep.
factor for women in
Absolutely.
breast cancer, and just how crazy that is. But when you need it, right?
Yep.
Or you feel like
I was like, whatever. I wasn't thinking too much about it. It
Yeah.
was just like, how can I numb out from what
But
I'm about to? Yeah.
I would always read the articles that said, red wine is good and healthy.
Right. Right.
And if I saw an article out there in the world that said it causes breast cancer, I remember just like closing that.
Yeah.
Nope. Didn't see
Delete.
it.
Yeah.
Close your
not the-
ears.
Let me look at the other article that says antioxidants are healthy.
Right.
And it's kind of a bit of denial.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah. But some people don't even know. Like, I was talking to a gal, I remember it was commencement. We were working commencement, and I was just sort of telling her, telling her different things. And so I said, it increases a woman's, chances of getting breast cancer. She's like, really? I didn't know that. I'm like,
Wow.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
Because you're doing the thing like me, only looking at the articles that say it's good for you.
Right.
And-
Just drink the red wine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which now, at least the Surgeon General, right, just came out with like a warning.
Yes.
At least, right? So I feel like that got a lot of attention.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
That did get a lot of
It's really
attention.
good. Really good to get it out there in a more from the medical community. So let's hope that they can will put the warnings on
Warnings,
labels, not just for pregnant women, but for all women.
all humans. Yeah.
All humans. Yes. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So you were a Chardonnay gal. And I was too for a long time. And then I switched over to Sauvignon Blanc. I don't know why.
Okay.
And that was sort of the last hurrah for me. But I was never a mixed drink person. So what
Same.
got you interested in mocktails and making mixed drinks?
So when that first January, so it was January 2021, I went to Total Wine. Actually, the first day I was alcohol free, December 31st, 2020, I went to Total Wine and I was like, okay, I have to find something else to drink. Like, what can I drink? I bought a bottle of non-alcoholic wine that night and I drank. I don't even think I drank the whole thing, but I drank some of it and I was like, not so bad. But I remember buying it thinking like, what is the point? Like,
Right.
what is the point? I mean, I literally was like, looking at the lady, ringing me up, like, we're both like, I don't know, let's try, So, but it was like, okay, well, that wasn't so bad. And then I thought, okay, well, what else can I drink? So I went back to Total Wine and I bought and again, I wasn't, same like you, it wasn't a mix. We had a cocktail shaker. It was in the back of my cabinet. I mean, I think I used it once to make a lemon drop something or other one time. So, pulled that out, and at Total Wine I found like a margarita mix, like a pre-mix thing, organic something or other. So I bought that, and then I bought Ritual tequila. I was like, tequila alternative? Who knew? Like I had no idea there was anything like this on the market at all. And at that time, there was nothing compared to what there is now. I mean, there were just a few items. Now there's shelves and shelves at Total Wine.
Exploding, yeah.
It's exploding. It's incredible. I mean, I feel like it's like Disneyland of non-alcoholic options. It's incredible, the options that there are. But I bought that and then came home and I was like, well, I'm going to try to make a margarita. Listen to me. I mean, it was literally a mix. Like you didn't have to do anything. You just had to mix that with a little bit of the non-alcoholic tequila. You didn't have to think. And then my husband, because I like spicy stuff, and he's like, what if you took like a little bit of jalapeno, like the little brine that's in like your jar of jalapeno? He's like, add some of that in, and it made it so spicy. Ooh. It was so good. So this was like before, I think I was like 5 days into my alcohol-free journey when I was making this particular drink or whatever, and I was like, this is so good. I was like, if there are drinks like this, like why would I go back? Like why? If I can be making things like this that are so delicious. And again, I wasn't mixing up anything fancy, but it was just like the fact that like you could find something like this and it's not alcoholic, it tasted like the real deal. If you had put that in front of me with a chips and salsa at a Mexican restaurant, I never would have known that tequila was non-alcoholic. It was so good. I probably would start acting buzzed in a few minutes.
That's amazing. That's so good.
It was so good. So I just felt like, okay, if I'm finding these drinks and I'm, there's things to drink. I felt so surprised and I had time on my hands because I wasn't zoned out every evening now or every other evening. I was like, and I didn't want to play puzzle. I didn't want to do puzzles. I didn't want to do like adult coloring books. Like, they tell you like, pick up a new hobby when you are doing your alcohol-free challenge or whatever. So I was like, well, maybe my new hobby could be Instagram. So I started my Instagram account. I had thought about doing like Sober Deb. I followed Sober Dave at the time. Well, I still follow him. I shouldn't say that at the time. I follow Sober Dave. He's awesome. So I was like, maybe I could be Sober Deb. And then I was like, well, I want to talk about mocktails and stuff. And I never, even from beginning one, I never wanted to be a sober coach. I'm not a coach. I'm not like, that's not my personality or whatever. I was just like, I want to just encourage people. Like the fun's not over. And look, there's still good things to drink. So that's why I came upon Mocktail .mom. The Mocktail Mom wasn't available. It's like it's a site, somebody's account. They don't even have it or whatever. So mocktail.mom I picked. That's my Instagram account just to share mocktails. And I was like, I'm just a mom. I don't know what I'm doing, but we can figure this out.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. I love how this was born. And now it's just like exploded. You have a book, you have a podcast. That's amazing.
It's been really fun. It has been really fun. And it's just unfolded. Like there's been no plan, nothing. It's just like naturally unfolded, like really just from a desire for people to know there's good things to drink and the fun's not over at whatever age, and that whether you're sober curious or you just are mocktail curious, you just want to drink mocktails in between your cocktails. Like, I feel like no judgment. Like for me, a sober lifestyle has been so wonderful. I can't moderate. I do know people who can moderate. I can't. That's just not my personality apparently anymore. And so it's, it's been really good just to be of encouragement to other people. That's been my goal. So
yeah. So great. Well, I have tried some of them, some of the recipes in your book, and I have to say that they are awesome. I am super lazy. Or I don't know if I'm lazy. I tell my husband, it's like I'm efficient. Like I don't like recipes that have more than 5 ingredients. I don't want to spend more than 20 or 30 minutes cooking a meal.
No, right.
And so I don't want to spend like, when I read a recipe and it's like, make your own syrup.
Syrup.
Like,
no, thank you.
No,
Next page.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, I'm looking at all your recipes. They have under 5 ingredients, every single one. Most of them have stuff. They have, one, non-alcoholic option, like a tequila spirit, which is great because if you go on the websites of some of these places, they give you like a mocktail with 3 of them in there.
That's true. No,
and then you have to buy 3, and they're kind of expensive.
And they're expensive. Yep.
And they expire. I've thrown stuff away because I've bought too much stuff, and then I just didn't, make a million mocktails every night, and then I went, oh, this is only good for 3 months. So I thought, I want to try one at a time. Right now I have 2, but because I wanted to try the gin ones in here, and I wanted to try my husband the whiskey alternative because he's been getting into mocktails, and so so now I've made several of the whiskey ones, and I've made the gin ones. So the one I really liked is the Mocktail Queen, which is the lemon drop.
Oh yeah. Yes, I had more fun with like the names and the chapter titles and stuff probably than anything. Like.
I love it because it's with the ABBA hit. Yeah, I love that song.
Just like just some fun with all of it. Yeah, like Spicy Mama mocktails, and not past our prime. I'm 53, and I just feel like we're just getting started. We're not past our prime, so I really geared it more for. I mean, there's recipes for anybody. It can be a man or female. Man or woman can make these, men or dads or moms, but just some fun drinks to make. So. Okay, sorry.
No, it's so great. The Wind Beneath My Wings, which is the cosmopolitan one, which has the tequila as the spirit, which was kind of interesting. I haven't tried that one yet, but I used to like Cosmos. I used to feel all fancy.
Sex in the City.
One of those.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. For sure. And the one I also really like is the red wine sangria hack because it's so good and it elevates some of the AF red wines, which we actually have found one that's very good. We had Josh, the non-alcoholic, on our. He found that one from Austria, which I have tried.
The Leonis blend is delicious.
Yes, very great.
Most of them are not so great.
And so it's great if you add the grapefruit sparkling soda to it. It just sort of elevates it, makes it super tasty and like a little thing.
So easy. It's so easy. So many people have made that. A friend of mine, she's actually in my membership. Her name's Jennifer Page, and she was the one that told me. I guess she had learned this in Weight Watchers like years ago, because it was like, stretch out your points. So take your red wine and use a diet, grapefruit soda with your red wine and make like a little sangria. So she was like, we should try that with the non-alcoholic red wines. And it's so good. Yeah. So easy.
And so easy.
Yes. I love easy.
So what is your favorite one in here, would you say? Or do you even have new ones?
I personally, I have a whole section called Mules for Days. I think I have 7 different, so like a mule for every day of the week. I find that mules, they're just an easy place for people to start. You don't even have to necessarily get out your shaker cup. You can make it right in your little mule cup. I love the Cranberry Dream. That's probably one of it's like a go-to. It's just so simple and everybody loves it. It's very easy, but it has non-alcoholic whiskey, cranberry juice, lime juice, and some ginger beer. And you can use sugar-free ginger beer, so you don't have to add a ton of sugar to your mocktails. You can definitely use sugar-free ginger beer, and a lot of the non-alcoholic spirits have very, very low sugar. I think the Ritual whiskey alternative might have 0 or maybe 15 calories or something for an ounce and a half. So it's very, very low.
I think
when you remove the alcohol, you remove a lot of the calories.
That's probably why I never really got into all these mocktails. Is I'm on keto. I'm a keto diet, and I don't have any sugar. So I mean, this might be boring, but my mocktail, is it in your? I have a Soda Stream, and then I have
Soda Stream,
lime and cranberry, and that's like my mocktail. I don't know that.
That's perfect. Yeah, put it in a fancy glass or put it in whatever glass you want to. I think glassware. I didn't realize how important glassware was when I stopped drinking. I used to just drink out of my best mom ever tumbler. That was when I put my wine in. It was all I had. But now, like creating new memories, creating like new rituals, and I've purchased like different glasses at like secondhand stores. So you don't have to buy a whole 6-pack of them or whatever. But I bought like myself like a beautiful coupe glass. Like I didn't even know what a coupe glass was. I didn't have a mule cup. Like I wasn't making mules at home, but you can then, and now it's like, I only have memories of having non-alcoholic drinks in these. Like I have no memories of waking up with that glass next to my bedside table going, oh my gosh, I did it again. Right? How many times did we wake up?
I got rid of all that glass, right? I did. I got rid of my wine glasses and all the glasses that I had like that, where I had those memories.
Those memories. Yeah.
I love a coupe glass. My mother has my grandmother's, which I've already called dibs on. Even with my mom, I'm like, don't you just want to give those to me right now?
Yes, now, Mom. I could be enjoying them now. Yeah.
I love to have my alcohol-free sparkling wine when I go to visit my parents out of the coupe glasses. But so you have so many cool pictures in here. Do you have most of these glasses? Did you do like a little photo shoot with all these?
I did not. The publisher did all the photos.
Oh, they did.
So they had a photographer. Yes, this was a whole new experience for me. I have never written a book. I don't know that I'll ever write another book again. It's very stressful, deadlines and such. But yeah, now with the Derby coming up, I live in Kentucky, so I have a mint julep in there, a non-alcoholic mint julep on page 98. It's easy to make, so simple and so delicious. You can make it non-alcoholic, obviously, and you would never know that it's alcohol free. And actually, this one you could do on keto because it uses non-alcoholic whiskey, simple syrup. You can get 0 sugar. You can use like simple syrup made with monk fruit.
Yeah, that's what I
made with that.
Eat.
Yep, yep. So it's mint leaves. So you can take like 6 or 8 mint leaves, half an ounce of simple syrup. Yep, and you can get yourself a little mint julep glass, or just use a regular cup or whatever. Crushed ice and 2.5 ounces of non-alcoholic whiskey. And it sounds, you think like, man, it's so good. It's really delicious. But that's the drink that they have here at the Derby. It's the big drink. So
and that's where people wear the big hats, right?
The big hat.
Dressed up.
It's
go to
crazy
that
town here.
Yeah,
I've gone before. I have gone. The Derby is insanity. Yeah,
and it's sticky note there.
It's bigger than Christmas in Kentucky. I mean, you cannot believe how the entire, because I live in Louisville. I live maybe a half hour from Churchill Downs where they run the Kentucky Derby. I mean, everything shuts down. Like the whole month of April, people are like, oh, have a great Derby. All the shops have Derby stuff. I mean, it's like, oh, call me after Derby. Like if you're trying to schedule something, it's like, call me after Derby. It is the whole week is horse racing and stuff. Even people who aren't into horse racing. And there's a lot of
alcohol, right? Isn't it alcohol centric?
Oh, it's a drink fest.
Yeah, it's a drink
fest. It's a drink fest. Yeah, it's a drink fest. Yeah. So I would love to get some mocktails in there.
Yeah. Well, here's one right here. So we watch the Derby. My husband likes horse racing. And so I will definitely make this. I'm putting
good.
Sticky
Yes,
note.
make your must be mint. Yes, a mint julep.
I'm going to try it too. Thank you.
Oh, good. I hope you like it. Yeah. And actually the gal I mentioned for my membership, Jennifer, she's keto. So a lot of times like we'll talk about the recipes and all, just make modifications. There's all kinds of things you can do. But the nice thing is the non-alcoholic spirits are very low in sugar, typically. I mean, you obviously read your labels, but the one you mentioned, this is the Lily's Lavender Royale. This is probably one of my favorites. It's named after my daughter, Lily. She's my younger daughter. And she helped me in the very beginning. We used to make mocktail recipes together on Instagram. She's got like an amazing palate. Like she'll taste something, even like we'll get sent like, or I'll buy something, like a ready to drink or a can of something. And she'll taste it. She's like, a little bit too much on the, she'll name like the ginger or something, she's so funny. Anyway, so she loves lavender. So this is a drink in her honor. And actually,
beautiful.
It's so pretty. Yeah. And the publisher picked this for the back cover. I had nothing to do with what they picked. And then the one on the front, the Cosmopolitan, is in honor of my mom. And that was what they picked for the front. So, and I had nothing to do with the drinks that they picked for the cover. So I'm really, really happy with how the whole book turned out. It turned out beautiful.
It's really cute book.
They did a great job. So
really
thank you.
Great. So how would you encourage someone to get started? Like to make a little mocktail station, in their kitchen, make a little bar cart that's non-alcoholic and get all these fun little, like a muddler and a jigger and a frother and big fat ice for the big, just have fun with it.
You can do as much as you want, or just get a little charger for, a little plate for like your counter, and just have a few things. You don't have to get overwhelmed. Like maybe pick out one non-alcoholic spirit that you want to try, whether it's a non-alcoholic whiskey or non-alcoholic gin. Gin and tonics are keto friendly. You can get 0 sugar tonics.
Yeah.
They're so good. Those helped me surf the urge so many times where I was like, I wanted a glass of wine, but instead I made a non-alcoholic gin and tonic. Simple.
Delicious.
So simple. And it's so delicious. Yes. So refreshing. So good. You can drink year round. But just don't get overwhelmed. Like don't feel like you have to have everything, but maybe just get a couple little things so that you have enough to maybe make a few recipes to get yourself started. Ginger beer, I think, is an easy thing to use, or a sugar-free tonic or low sugar ginger beer. Yeah, maybe get a shaker cup, or don't, get yourself a pretty glass, so that you can start creating new rituals and new habits for yourself and creating new memories. Lime juice, lemon juice, just some simple things. You don't need, you obviously fresh is best, but like I used bottled lime juice the other night. I didn't have a fresh lime. So whatever, no big deal. Don't beat yourself up.
I love that you mentioned ritual. Like, I think that was a big part of it. It was a ritual for me to like get the wine and the corkscrew and the this and the that. And it was just, but so when I have a soda stream, it feels like a ritual, right? I have I push the button.
I love my soda stream.
Then you can add, like you said, that maybe some herbs or some lime or juices or
Yep, just keep it simple. Just a few things, and then it starts to grow. You go, okay, let me get some ice cube molds. Let me do a couple other things. Let me invest in something else. But in the beginning, I think just get a couple of things for yourself, so you can make a few drinks and feel comfortable.
That's great. Yeah, my mule glasses I never had used because I only drank wine. And somebody gave them to me as a Christmas gift. They were up in the closet. And so when I was alcohol free, I'm like pulling them out, and I made it up myself. I just made it. I call it a mocktail mule. Muddled the mint from my garden because it was summer. It was summer of 2020 it was June 1st, 2020, when I took the plunge to go completely alcohol free, and limes, muddled that. Little ginger beer, a little half sparkling water, because ginger beer can be pretty strong.
It is strong.
And it was so cold in these glasses. And my husband and I sat on the deck, and that's normally where we would sit and have wine, but we had these drinks, these mocktails instead. And I just remember also how I noticed how I didn't drink it super fast. Like I was a pretty fast drinker when it came to wine. It was like, whoa, where'd that go?
A refill, please.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, wow, I can really make a drink last long. So it's a good thing this is keeping it cold. And so, that was sort of my first foray into.
Wow.
And I've never had alcohol in those
mule cups.
Which is kind of cool. But I do like the fancy glass. I like I say keep the ritual, ditch the alcohol. Yeah. It's so funny that the name of that spirit company is Ritual, and they have it also at I have a dinky little, liquor store, and in Connecticut, you can't get liquor at the grocery store. You can't even get wine. You can only get beer and hard seltzers and stuff. Okay. But so you have to go to the liquor store. And I noticed more and more. First, it was some sort of dusty shelf way in the back with cobwebs that you had to,
Yep.
You had to like wipe the cobwebs away to find some alcohol-free O'Doul's or something terrible. And then now they have a whole section. And then great. The last time I went in, it was on the front rounder, like a front display. And it was all the ritual stuff. So that's where I got the whiskey.
Oh, that's great.
And the gin. And then I bought some stuff and I put it in the basket for this charity auction. So it was one of those ones where people like put their tickets in. And I got nervous because I was just like, I hope people like bid on this and somebody wins it. So I thought, well, I better buy a bunch of tickets and put it in there so somebody wins it.
Somebody wins.
Somebody's
going to
win on it. Yes. But people did, and she was super excited. I was sitting there kind of panicking because you don't know. You don't know, and the people I'm talking to, and you never know. People, at these events. But it was January. It was sort of a dry January basket with a bunch of stuff. And that's where I put my first edition of your book. And I put sticky notes on the pages because I put the gin in the basket so that they could see, the gin recipes. So hopefully there's someone sweet.
Enjoy. That's such a thoughtful gift. Seriously. What a thoughtful thing to do. Thank you for doing that. Yeah. Thank you for including me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I had to go buy myself another one so that I have the recipes because I'm like, I really want these recipes. Wait, what was that one that I thought that I made? Did I memorize it? So just really, really fun.
Thank you.
Really fun little quips and little stories. And you tell a little bit about your story at the beginning, but it's just super, super fun and lit. And that's what we're all about, right?
Lit.
Fun,
yeah.
Staying lit, not, feeling good,
feeling
and
better,
how to enjoy our life.
Yeah.
So that brings me to the time in the podcast when we ask, what do you do in your life to feel lit, alcohol free?
So funny. I mean, I feel like I'm on the injured list right now. I used to walk a lot. Like I was walking like over 10,000 steps a day, and I hurt my knees. So I feel like that got taken from me a couple months ago here. And so I'm not feeling so lit in terms of like just my exercise and stuff in that way. But just sharing non-alcoholic drinks. I just had the Mocktail Summit where I brought together mocktail influencers from all over the globe. Like Nat, the Mindful Mocktail, came on and she shared a recipe and made it on camera with me. Different mocktail influencers from all over. And so doing things like that and just pouring into, those who are curious or those who are interested in mocktails. I love that. Like I love making videos. Like I know it sounds silly to say, but like I truly love, like I did a video for Ritual. They used it as an ad, and like I had so much fun. I was like, "Are you kidding me? That this is what I get to do?" Like I feel like a kid in a candy store. So to be able to do fun things like that, that's something new for me. I was never like in production or whatever, that kind of stuff. But that definitely lights me up to do that. And then
so fun.
Just to be aware in my life, like not to be zoned out. And I just had a weekend with my daughter. We went down she's going to go to college. My younger daughter's going to college next year. Like I was at a hotel with her, but I wasn't thinking like, oh, do I have wine? And do I have wine at the hotel? Hotels used to be like, oh, a time to drink.
Right. Yeah.
But I would just like be with her, just to be connected. So that's been, that lights me up to just be aware in my own life,
Yes.
be alive.
I love it.
That's so beautiful. I love that so much and totally relate. Yeah. Well, this is such a pleasure to have you. Oh my gosh. I feel like we could just all like have a supper party or something.
I know. Yes. Let's have a retreat. Party. Yeah. Do you guys have a retreat? Let's do you guys do a, what?
We could.
We're thinking about it. Are you thinking about it?
Are you thinking about it? Yeah. Very fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be fun. I feel like I love everyone in the sober community. I mean, and I don't use the word sober all the time too, alcohol-free community. I think the word that I used when I was describing it is wholehearted. Like we're not, like you said, we're not numbing, walking through our life as a zombie. We've shed that shame and blame that was over us, and we're just living wholeheartedly. And it's like just that. Like we can share it in each other's successes and be excited and come on each other's podcasts. Yeah. And because it's all about just giving back to the community and helping others find their way, whether it's like you said, mocktails sometimes,
sober, whatever. Yep.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Living a lit lifestyle.
Yeah. Thank you guys for what you're doing. Thank you for your beautiful podcast. Yeah.
And please buy the book, The Happiest Hour.
The Happiest Hour.
Yes. Where can people find you if they're like, I just love this lady. I want to know more about her.
My website is mocktailmom.com. And you can get like a replay of the Mocktail Summit, which is it's literally incredible. Just so many people on there who shared their mocktails and stuff. And then The Happiest Hour by Deb Podlager is available on Amazon or wherever books are sold. So yes. And I'm on Instagram, mocktail.mom. So thank you for asking. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. And we'll put that in the show notes. Okay. And just want to thank you again. Thank you. Remind our listeners to join us in our Facebook group to connect with us and connect. Maybe I'll put one of these recipes in there. Join us and we'd love to see you there. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to Feel Lit Alcohol-Free Podcast. Do you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show?
All you need to do is head over to Apple Podcasts and do 2 simple things. Leave a rating and review telling us what you think of the show. And in that review, ask us any questions you have about breaking free from wine or living an alcohol-free lifestyle.
That's it. Then tune in to hear your question answered live.
And remember, do something today that will help you feel lit.
Don't forget to get your free Feel Lit bingo card.
Link in the show notes.